Hi, I'm Aaron Biros with Innovative Publishing at FoodSafetyTech.com. I'm here with Melanie Neumann from Neumann Risk Services, Matrix Sciences company. Melanie, this morning we heard from Bill Marler and Sean Stevens discussing foodborne illness trials, both very prominent food safety attorneys. What do you think were some of the key highlights from that?
It's a great question, Aaron. Being a food safety attorney, primarily for the defense, so Sean and I know each other very well. Very much great respect for Bill as well. I think one of the takeaways, one of the most important takeaways I took away from their conversation today was the importance and the reliance that industry places on third parties. We put a lot of trust in third-party auditors, for example, to go and audit, say, a supplier if we're a manufacturer. And we take that third-party audit and say, now I trust the supplier to supply me with a product. But really, I think Bill started the conversation and Sean echoed it with the fact that the onus and the burden really still is on us as manufacturers, as a food industry, to follow up, to confirm, to actually read that third-party audit, Aaron, right? And understand what's in it. Are there major nonconformities? Is there something that really should concern us? And have us maybe go and put boots on the ground, double check, verify. We really are in a risk world and a risk era now of trust but verify. We can't just do business on a handshake. We can't trust the paper documentation. And we need to ask some more educated questions of our third-party trusted advisors, like auditors, dare I say even us attorneys, to really understand who we're placing trust in now. To be able to trust but verify, get that visibility and get that traceability into our supply chain and into those who are feeding us our products so that when we feed consumers, we know we can do that with confidence.
And you also had a presentation of your own today. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Certainly. I was blessed to have some other panelists join me as well who are very wonderful, experienced veterans of the industry as well. And we spoke about the importance of not only today's inspection and audit readiness, but also how do we get ready for tomorrow's expectations, the emerging risks that we have to balance as industry members, and how are we supposed to be able to balance, say, GFSI and other private standards expectations, as well as regulatory expectations for inspections. So we talked about tips and tools of how to be ready for that next regulatory inspection, for example, that first FSMA preventive controls inspection that some of us have had and some of us might not have had. Also, how to be in inspection and audit ready 24/7, 365. So how do we, for example, make sure that our food safety plans are really solid by showing our work, by referencing the FDA draft guidance, hazard analysis guidance documents, for example. And if we're not using that, having a good business justification for why not, and really being able to point to science, point to data to be able to say we either have a risk or we don't, and having that documentation to back us up. And then being able to leverage technology to help us manage our risk and reduce our risk, because we're really in an era with much more documentation requirements, much more record-keeping requirements, and keeping that in stacks of manual paper in a shoebox or in filing cabinets is just becoming an unmanageable task. So putting that in some form of an electronic management system, we can get to that information much more quickly, be able to track and trend data so that if we're starting to go off track, we can get a much more faster early warning indicator and hopefully try to catch a problem before that problem goes out the door, and this before hopefully we don't have a recall or other sort of market action. So that was the topic of conversation today. We had a great dialogue amongst the audience, and we've been having a great time here at the Food Safety Consortium.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks.